Alrighty, guys. It is 3:30 and change this Monday, January 26th. And to wrap it up, and I guess we had a little bit of strength this morning, and now they kind of died off. So we're right up here against this upper area. But you see, this whole afternoon after that, 1 o'clock little pop, we just didn't do anything. Just been grinding, 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 grinding. I haven't even tried to trade this. I was watching it and say, yeah, it isn't going anywhere. I mean, I'm not doing anything with it. I did take one more trade on the Nasdaq. You saw that one down here. After this little rundown first, we talked about this one when we're heading higher here. We were looking at the Nasdaq running up and retesting the high, and ES was extending, and the Nasdaq was the one which dragged it down. It could not extend. They just kind of dragged everything down with it. So when they backed off here, I tried a long trade on the way back up here. Had a nice trade going for a while, and then you see they ran right back down again, knocked me out, and then just went sideways for a while. I don't re-engage it at this point. I mean, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. The only way to protect yourself is to keep your stop a little bit less aggressive. But then again, you also get expose yourself to a potential reversal again. So if the Nasdaq is behaving like this, yes, if it works, it works. Otherwise, get out of it. And so yeah, let's get about a tick and a half out of that thing. Was about or the X3 takes $1.50. That was it. And since then, I haven't done anything. Just sitting here watching it. So range bound trading is what we're looking at. I would start though with a bias to the upside going into the overnight. We are up here. We showed some strength. I would watch this 69.70s. If that comes out, I would be back range bound. Otherwise, I would stay on the long side. I'm going to adjust the levels a little bit, but definitely 69.70 is going to stay there as a buying opportunity. And on the Nasdaq, that opportunity is done here at the 25,830. That was a high for today. And I took a few trades this morning, as I said, a couple of short trades when I could run into these upper resistance areas on the ES and the Nasdaq. I guess I got a little bit out of them. So 3 trades, 1250 on the Nasdaq, 2 trades, 1250 on the ES, and that's about it. That's my entire trading day today. So I'm glad I didn't get myself into that over trading mode when I tried to do more than I should. But a day like this is just get chopped up. That is just nothing is happening. So I had to realize it and not try to trade it. Unless you want to fade the edges and just be sitting there and hope you don't get caught. But I mean, you get caught on the wrong side of a move like this and you're just going to drift back and forth. You just be sitting there twisting in the wind for a while. So anyway, so that's how we get started going into the overnight into the overnight. Now, tomorrow we have a little bit of news where the Fed meeting begins. We also have consumer confidence at 10, new home sales at 10, Richmond Fed manufacturing. So nothing at 8:30, but at 10 o'clock we get a bunch of news. We have a 5-year auction at 1. Now also we have a ton of earnings come out. I forgot to mention that this morning, but given that all the stuff's going on, Fed meeting today, announcement on Wednesday, but also on Wednesday we get 3 big techs are reporting. I think Tesla, Microsoft, and one more to report earnings after the close on Wednesday. So we have a bunch of big tech reporting this week. It's going to be an interesting week for sure. If they miss, I think the market could take a tank a bit. And if they hold on and show reasonable earnings, I think the market can hold on and maybe even muster a little bit of a rally. So I just have to wait and see how the whole thing shakes out. But a lot of news happening though, especially big earnings coming out this week, and that could potentially set the market off up or down. Now, in the bigger picture, the Iranian situation, as I said this morning, could potentially be a factor in this as well. That would be a short-term thing if that happens. Other than that, it's most of the stuff is kind of behind us in terms of drama, I believe. We had this Japanese situation also that could also we've been kind of hanging on the market. It's hard to say exactly how that impacts the market, but definitely making it a little bit more jittery. So that's where we have going into tomorrow. So tomorrow, 10 o'clock, we have news. Fed meeting begins. So I would expect the market tomorrow to be kind of range bound. Maybe go back and forth a bit, but before an earnings report, before the Fed announcement on all these earnings, probably not see a ton of stuff happening, but you never know. So just be mindful, watch what's going on. But I think Wednesday is going to be a big day, and then of course after that on Thursday is going to be the reaction to all of it. So that's going to be the big days this week. Finally, on the bond side of things, as I said this morning, I tried to get short up here. I was just a tad late and not get filled on that third bar, and they started trading lower from there. And that would have been a nice trade. We had at least a 4-tick trade on that one. And since then, as you said, I mean, you see in the middle, it has been going sideways. It drifted down, drifted back up, not much happening. So I would say range bound trading on the bonds going into the overnight. We're back up to the 116s. We just are kind of middle of those. The 115 a tractor and the 117. So we're back in that upper range again. So that's about it, guys. That's all I did. Not a huge showing for today, but a day like this, it's easy. You get too aggressive, you just get yourself stuck in shitty trades all the time. So you just had to be really cautious about it. Anyway, as you can see, we are to the upside, the nice P formation. So we'll start with a slight bias to the upside on the ES and NASDAQ and see how far they can take it. And then I'll see how it develops into tomorrow. Alrighty, guys, we'll leave it there. You have a great evening, and I'll see you back tomorrow. We'll do it all over again later.